There are 7 types of pelicans. The 2 in the U.S. are the white pelican and brown pelican. This presentation will focus on the brown pelican. Brown pelicans live along southern and western seacoasts and are rarely seen inland. They nest in colonies, often on isolated islands free of land predators. Brown pelicans are very large. They have thin necks and very long bills with a stretchy pouch used for catching fish. They have very long, broad wings. Adult pelicans are gray-brown with yellow heads and white necks. Coloring will vary slightly between Pacific and Atlantic brown pelicans. The picture to the left shows a pelican in breeding plumage. The back sides of the neck turn a rich, dark, reddish-brown. This shows an immature pelican. Immature pelicans are gray-brown above, including the head and neck, with a pale, whitish belly and chest. Pelicans are highly sociable all year. Pelicans breed in colonies of up to several thousand pairs, usually on small islands where they are free from terrestrial predators. They use a variety of vocalizations to be able to communicate with each other. They use sounds to help attract mates, to communicate with their colony during nesting, and to communicate with their group in flight. They also use these sounds to protect territory and to warn others of impending dangers. The male defends a nest site and nearby perches for up to 3 weeks until he attracts a mate. The pair is monogamous throughout the breeding season. Mating occurs in March and April. Couples will stay together for life, so it can be time-consuming for those that are newly ready to mate to decide on a mate. There can be lots of calls, dance rituals, and even the sharing of food before they decide to mate.
Once the male has found a female, the act of mating will occur about 7 times, with each act lasting between 7 and 14 seconds. The male will grab the female's upper neck with his bill and then mount her, holding her neck until the act is over. Other than moving her tail from side to side, the female does not move during copulation. The picture shown is a male mounting a female.
Pelicans incubate their eggs with the skin of their feet, essentially standing on the eggs to keep them warm. In the mid-20th century, the pesticide DDT caused pelicans to lay thinner eggs that cracked under the weight of incubating parents. In the 1970s, brown pelicans were federally listed as endangered. The plight of pelicans and other species led to a ban on DDT in 1972 and a reduction in the use of endrin, a chemical compound used in insecticides, allowing pelican numbers to rise. By 1985, numbers along the Atlantic and eastern Gulf coasts had recovered enough to delist these populations. Thanks to pesticide regulations, pelicans have made a full comeback.
As mentioned earlier, the male chooses a nest spot and attracts the female to said spot. As part of pair bonding, the male will bring additional materials to the female, who will then build up the nest. Brown pelicans nest in large colonies, and the nest type depends on their location. These nests can be on the ground, common in areas with little predators, or in bushes or on top of trees where there are more threats. If it is a ground nest, it can be as simple as a shallow hole in the sand or as complex as interwoven sticks and grass. It will always be 2 to 3 meters off the ground. If it is a treetop nest, there will usually be grass and straw interwoven on a mound of sticks. Treetop nests are the ideal location due to the difficulty of the eggs being taken from other species and to allow for adequate landing and takeoff of the parents. The picture shown is an example of a ground nest. Once the nest is completed, the female will lay 1 to 4 chalky white eggs. When the eggs are laid depends on the location of the birds. For example, in Louisiana, the female will lay her eggs anywhere between March and June, but in Maryland, the eggs are laid anywhere from late May through September. The offspring are referred to as chicks. Turning of the eggs as well as incubation is done by both the male and female by putting their webbed feet over the eggs. On average, about 70% of eggs will hatch. These eggs will incubate for 29 to 32 days, and if there are more than one egg, they will be laid in 24 to 64-hour intervals. When the chicks hatch, they are blind, featherless, and completely dependent on their parents. They weigh anywhere from 55 to 87 grams and have pinkish-gray skin covered in fluff. The legs and feet of the chicks are a dull white color when they are young and turn dark gray or black when they reach adulthood. The chicks are first fed through regurgitation, which the parents will drop directly into the nest for the chick to consume, and later on, they are fed by eating straight from the beak of the parent. After 63 to 76 days, the chicks will develop wings large enough to fly. Once that occurs, there is little to no care from the parents. These new chicks will reach sexual maturity between 2 and 5 years of age, and the cycle carries on. This picture shows a chick eating straight from the gull of the parrot, which is also slightly terrifying.